It's official, Instacart has gone public and has been public for the last few days, but is this your opportunity to get in on the ground floor for the next Amazon, for the next Google, or anything in between? I am not entirely sure. I have some concerns about Instacart, and let's go ahead and break it down because when you compare it to some of the other major IPOs, a lot of them are down more than 50%. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Instacart is the grocery delivery service. I think most of us perhaps became familiar with it during the pandemic where they were extremely popular. Also, get this. During the pandemic, this company was valued at $39 billion. That means that looking at the company based on what they thought the company was worth and what people were willing to pay for it, $39 billion was the value of Instacart back during the height of the pandemic. It was worth right now around $10 billion or so. The value has fallen off a cliff. Now you could argue that this is undervalued. It was at 40. They've made more money since then and the company is profitable, which is great. You could be buying this at a discount. Anybody tells you that, hey, this thing is worth 40, but you can pay 10, you might want to buy that thing. But the more that I start to look at it, and really I can say this about most IPOs, initial public offerings, they tend to be very volatile. So take a look at this. I'll put a graph on the screen just to show you the average of how IPOs have performed over time. And the way that this chart looks is, the way it is how much better or worse it compares to the average, to the stock market as a whole. So is it, 10% better, 5% better, so on and so forth. But also, when I compare it to, let's say, DoorDash, Zoom, Peloton, Shopify, all companies that went public in the last 2 years or so, every last one of those is down a minimum of 50%. A minimum of 50%. Now, that's not a guarantee that Instacart is going to go the same way. We all have the example of Facebook, which started out terrible as an IPO and became the next big thing and one of the biggest things on the stock market and one of the most valuable companies on the face of the earth. There is a possibility for Instacart. I don't think it is something that is likely. What is possible and what is likely are two separate things. And here's why. Number one is competition. Now, I came across several articles, but one of them said that they didn't think that Instacart had a whole bunch of competition. I don't believe that's true. I think Instacart is in a very, very crowded space, and I'm not sure how much room they have to win. And here's why. You got Walmart, okay? Walmart and then Walmart Plus. You got Amazon. You got you walking into the store. That is a competitor, whether you like to think of yourself as a competitor or not. I have the opportunity to say, look, if I need to go get a rack of ribs right now and I don't want to wait an hour or 30 minutes to order on Instacart, I can just walk in the store, grab it, and get it out. Instacart gets nothing from that, okay? What about companies like Blue Apron? The stock is terrible, but that is also a competitor because they bring the groceries directly to me and I make whatever meal that I make out of it. And then you have DoorDash as well. So those are 5 main competitors right there. And their only source of revenue, or I'll say their main source of revenue, is either the membership service or the fee that you pay every time that you buy. And that's it. That's it. And there's nothing, to my knowledge, that is stopping a Costco or Kroger, who they do partner with now, from saying, look, I'm just going to start my own service and cut you middle guys out of it and just have Kroger delivery. And just have, Target did this by buying the company called Ship. They bought them, and now Target offers their own delivery service. Walmart already has it. And even we've seen this with Instacart and Whole Foods. They were sole partners for Whole Foods until Amazon said, hey, wait a minute. I give everybody else 2-day shipping. Why can't I do same-day shipping for groceries myself and cut Instacart out of the entire process? That is what they did. So I don't know what makes Instacart that much more different or special from any of these other services. And honestly, from a consumer perspective, there's a difference, whether you like it or not, whether you are buying an Apple phone or an Android phone. There are distinct differences. And you can argue who is better, but there are differences. I don't really know or care if I am ordering directly from Kroger and it is a Kroger employee giving me the groceries or someone who's Instacart. I don't think that makes a difference for most people. And I don't know what is the true competitive advantage that sets Instacart apart from everyone else. Is there special technology? Yes, they're using AI, which I feel like everybody is at this point in time. But what is it that's separating them and is going to say this company is absolutely going to make it above and beyond everyone else? look at DoorDash. If I were to look at DoorDash as an equal competitor or very, very close or very similar, I'm not excited about that because that company's down after 2 years more than 50%. Now, that's not a guarantee that Instacart is going to do the exact same, but they are as close to apples as we can get, and we're not really sure where things are going to go. The other thing too is, and y'all know how I feel about a recession and how I don't really think that there is one around the corner, but if that were to occur, there are some that are worried about Instacart's stability. Yeah, a Costco or a Walmart might be good stocks to go to, but if I'm looking to save money, I might just go to the grocery store myself and save that money as opposed to still using that service. So as a defensive stock, a lot of people aren't extremely excited about that. The only good thing, no, it's the only good thing, one of the few good things I like about Instacart, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, they are profitable. Their finances have improved drastically over the last 3 years. So I do like the fact that, hey, if nothing else, the company is profitable. And generally, when you turn a profit and you do so consistently, that usually turns out pretty good for investors. Now, the side effect of that is the fact that they even stated in their own financial statements that, yeah, we're profitable now. We hope to continue that, but there's no guarantee that that's going to go forward in the future. But also, we're not necessarily focused on generating extreme profits from here on out. Now, that is not a red flag because they are a relatively young company, and there could be times, because they're new, that they could lose money every now and then. They could stumble, and that is okay. But when it's a new company and it's an IPO and giving all the data information we know about IPOs, I'm not excited to jump into it at this point in time. Perhaps things can change. And just to jog your memory, here are some other major IPOs. I want you to see how well these IPOs have done. All right, so Meta is one that's done well. Let's talk about Uber, Snap. I talked about DoorDash. Where's Roblox now? Where's Airbnb now? And where's Revvion? Where? Right? No one is talking about those right now because the majority of them have not done so well since the time that they debuted. So for most investors, this is not a time for you to jump into it because the stats show, that more often than not, you about to lose a whole lot of money in the short term. I would sit back and wait. And more importantly, I like to look at companies and buy companies that have a little bit more of an advantage. One that makes a bit more sense, that says this is special and no one else has this, or it's very difficult for you to replicate this exact same service. In DoorDash, I mean, you can copy. I said, see, I messed up and said DoorDash when it's Instacart. What's the difference? So they don't seem to have that big of an advantage over many of its other competitors. I will say this, they are planning to expand in other areas. You do that, I'm really not going to see a difference between you and DoorDash or any of these other delivery services. So we'll see where that goes. But those are my thoughts about it. I will say this as well. This may not be the best investment right now. Keep your eye on it if you wish, because things can change. I'll also say that if you're looking for better investments that could help you out a little bit more right now, then this is the video you want to check out next.